this one right here, man, is another gifted athlete, another former Pittsburgh Steeler, a guy who made his name at Heinz Field and is now potentially transitioning past the game of football.
Seems pretty committed.
He does, man. I was gonna see if you could pull it up, man. I wanted to give him his due diligence and read off his actual his quote. I don't want to, talk over him and what he.
It was in Instagram, right?
Yes, but you might be able to just search the L Bell and the whole quote will pull up, man.
I think I got it right here.
No.
Yeah, Le'Veon Bell wishes career with the Steelers went differently. All right, here's the quote. Give me a sec. All right, we're good. This is long. I'll do my best here.
That's what she said.
Le'Veon Bell says, "I'm excited for this next chapter of my life." This caption is actually, it goes coinciding with a picture of him in a training gym for boxing.
Yeah, he's in boxing shoes on. He looks lean too, man. So
Yeah.
about 205.
Yeah, just trying to give some extra description there. And it looks like he's rocking some Nike trainers.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm excited for this next chapter of my life, my journey to be the best at what I do. The NFL has done great things for me, and I truly appreciate every single year of my NFL journey. Obviously, I, and then in parentheses, we/whoever, with things would have played out differently in 2018. Like if I legit had a time machine to go back to 2018, that would be so lit. For so many reasons, but I don't. All we can do is keep moving forward with life. And life has taught me. I need to like actually pull this laptop up.
Bro, I was about to say, man, you trying to read that little thing,
it's
man?
Tough. It's tough.
I don't know why you pulled up that, bro. I'm looking on my side. I'm like, bro, this actually mine's kind of small too.
Hold on. I got it now.
All right.
All we can do is keep moving forward with life. Life has taught me a lot of valuable lessons and formed me into the person I am today. I had moments in the last 6-7 years or so where it all felt as if I was on top of the world. Oh my God, I could do no wrong, and I loved every minute of it. It's also been moments where I felt alone, betrayed, disrespected, or used. It definitely didn't make me feel the best, but I never blinked. I've managed to embrace all of it and use it as motivation to prove to myself I'm going to be the best as I shift my focus solely to my new sport, boxing. I've been blessed and fortunate enough to make a lot of money playing the game of football, and I couldn't be more thankful for being able to provide for my family and close ones and form relationships with other coaches and other great athletes across the league. I think he's talking about you. Oh. But clout.
I think he's talking about you.
But clout, ? Money, ? That's not what this is about. And that's just what I want people to understand. It's not about the money for me. It's about proving to myself and showing the world that I'm not done yet. I appreciate everyone who decides to support my journey. Y'all the reason I keep going.
Let's go.
I appreciate everyone who doesn't. I use it as fuel and motivation. But regardless, it's time for me to move on with my next chapter of life, and I'm super excited about it. And it starts July 30th at Crypto.com Arena.
Okay.
Formerly Staples Center, right?
Whew. Let's talk about it.
Versus Adrian Peterson. Grab your tickets or tune in and be prepared for me to put on a show.
# be prepared.
Yeah.
Let's go, man.
That's what he had to say.
I wanted to say you did a phenomenal job reading.
I actually didn't do bad. You know what I did halfway through?
What'd you do halfway through,
I went
man?
back to like kind of what they taught you back in school of like putting my cursor over the words
so
as
you
I
could,
went.
yeah.
'Cause it
Makes
was
it
really
easy.
hard with the
Yeah.
small font. Like once you get to the end of a line, it's like, oh, where does it pick back up? Because it all jumbles together. But I think I powered through.
Nah, man, that was dope right there, man. And shout out to the, you just picked that thing. I thought you was gonna pick it all
Couldn't
to your
see.
face for a little while.
Couldn't
man.
see. Had to.
But yeah, man. I guess it's not an official retirement post, but it seems like a retirement post to me. But as a whole, man, that's a lot going into that article or going into that post. First part, obviously the 2018. We, whoever could go back. I mean, it's a lot of ways we could take that. It's a lot of people that could benefit from going back to 18. I mean, you think about the Steelers team, you think about him, think about money, think about just the trajectory of his career, since then. And even the Steelers, how long it took for them to even get back to a Najee Harris type running back. I mean, both parties.
Yeah, it was 2 years in between.
Yeah.
2 years, right?
Yeah.
The Pro Bowl with James Conner, and then the year with James Conner, Hurd, Jalen Samuels, Snow, just a no man's land at running back, essentially.
Yeah, so like I said, man, I think that both are not even. I'll say both parties, in terms of Steelers and L. Bell, can feel like they won elements of that 18 season and lost elements of that 18 season. But either way, like you said, man, you can't go back. But it is good to see that he at least acknowledges that, hey, man, if I could have done something differently, maybe I would have. So I was like, I like that right there, man. Just, hindsight 2020 stuff like that.
I think it makes sense, basically, with how his career played out since then.
Except for both parties, yeah. And I'm still torn with it because of the fact that he has that money now. I think it's different in that moment when we're still talking about trust the team. You know what I mean? Whereas now, how everything is played out, granted, yeah, it didn't work out football wise. Cool. But the one thing that you're going to forever be able to stand on is you did get that money. It was no guesswork. There was no, you had to fight for it. There was no, hey, you had to take a chance and hope that the organization would be true to their word. It's not a situation where we're looking at you saying, oh man, you're stupid for trusting the organization either. Like none of that happened. So it's like, it just sucks. Just because what could have been for all parties involved with that, man. But, that's that. Like I said, I'm just glad that for him, he's at peace with it. At least it seems like that. But the boxing element, though, I hope he's ready to do this full time, man. I mean, the way he's talking about it seems like that's his energy.
You think he's capable?
We'll put it like this.
Where would you rank him amongst? I guess we don't have to just say athletes that you've played with or been around, but also maybe athletes in general who could make this transition.
No, L. Bell is definitely capable of it. L. Bell is one of the best athletes I've ever been around. I mean, we talk about my list of like elite just talents. Mario Williams, he's always top of that list. Marcel Darius, he's always on that list. Antonio Brown, L. Bell, they're on those lists as well. Like, them dudes was freaky. Shazier, shout out to my dude. Shay, forgot, I saw him, man. We was on the way. He was going down to TJ's wedding, man. Shout out to my dude, man. But he was another one of those like freaky athletes that I've been around that I think when healthy, obviously for him, it's like, man, certain guys could just, if they put their mind to it, they can do that. And I think with L. Bell, man, he's more than athletic enough. He's definitely gifted enough. It's just, bro, you talking about hopping into something when you're 30. Whereas like when you think about us as professional football players, we didn't start playing football at college. We didn't start playing football in high school. Not most of us. Most of us been doing this since we was 4 or 5 years old. So it's like, man, we forgot more football than most people have ever even like learned,
Yeah.
So when you're talking about competing at the highest level to be successful, it's like, man, we can go back on so much experience that we've had that it just helps you in these situations. So even if you're not gifted enough, you can be smart enough. Or if you're smart enough, you're this, you know what I mean? So it's like you can balance it out. Whereas for L. Bell, granted, yeah, you've been training boxing, but bro, you ain't been boxing. Like, you've been a football player, you know what I mean? So it's a difference. You're talking about picking this sport up at 30 full time. Most of these dudes, when they 30, they already didn't had 20, 30 fights. You know what I mean? They already had an amateur career. I think of Deontay Wilder. Like, he was coming out of college when he went into boxing. And you can even see with him, as talented as he was, it still was a massive gap between him and like dudes that box. Tyson Fury, been doing this forever. Like, skill, you can see the gap. And Deontay Wilder's a champion. Now, does L. Bell got that type of power? I don't know just yet. We're going to find out, though. We'll find out. But, like, I think of that type of stuff. It's like, man, all right, if you're not going to be as talented as these dudes who've been boxing their whole life, do you got that great equalizer, that right hand? I've never seen L. Bell have to hit anybody like that. We all can get that chance on
He's just got to be on that Jake Paul trajectory.
Yeah.
Fight some celebs, get some guy, like get a little record. Get a little record,
but the
build
one
some
thing
hype.
that I'll say about Paul is this, though. He's not just winning. He's knocking guys out. It's exciting. Now, granted, he's cherry picking the fights.
Are they the same weight? Because I think that's what Bell's trying to do. He's trying to get one of the Paul fights.
Yeah, they're not far off, though. But that's the thing. It's like Jake Paul is cherry picking the fights so that way you can get that momentum, keep that hype, and you keep getting these knockouts so it looks good and more people will watch. But for L. Bell, for him at this stage, he's going to have to be on that type of thing where it's like, yo, you're fighting names, you're getting like nice finishes, and then that way can catapult you into one of those bigger fights, man.
Okay, so they have Bell listed here at 225.
Yeah, he's definitely lower than that. He ain't been 225.
They had Paul around like 190, 200.
Yeah.
So they could meet there?
L. Bell's probably around 210, 205, bro.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, that would be a good fight.
Yeah, I would like that. And that would be the first time we would see Jake Paul in there with the guy his size, too. None of them dudes have been close to his size. Tyron Woodley, what, 170, 180? Yeah. Still like little guys.
He was supposed to fight Fury's little brother.
Yeah.
Then that got canceled. Do you have any inside scoop on that?
I don't know. I just I know Fury. It was something with. It wasn't passport related. It was something where he couldn't get back into the U.S. though for the fight.
Because he got a whole new guy now.
Mm-hmm. Now he's fighting Hasim Rodman's son. It's like Hasim Rodman Jr. And Hasim, he fought Lennox Lewis like a while ago. It was like 90s, 2000s time frame.
Does this guy have a track record at all with boxing, or is he like an up-and-comer?
It's a name.
Okay.
It's the name. Remember I just said Hasim Rodman, like, who was like I want to say he actually did get the belt once. Yeah, because he beat Lennox the first time, and then they fought the rematch. Lennox knocked him out. So that's like the name part, though. No different than Tommy Fury.
You're saying this is his kid, though?
Yeah. So, like, even with Tommy Fury, it's like, oh, you're not Tyson Fury, but, oh, you're Tyson Fury's son. So it's a name. It gets you, oh, all right, I've heard of that, heard of him, so maybe, you know what I mean? So that's kind of like that approach. But with El Bell, he would need to take, like, a similar approach, I think.
This Peterson one's a good one to start off with, though. This one's going to bring people in.
Oh, yeah. Oh, he got to win. God, he got to win. You can't lose your first one. To go on that trajectory, you got to win the first one.
Do you have any ideas about fighting styles between the two? I got to think Peterson's like a Derek Lewis or like a Deontay Wilder. He's just going for the one punch.
I've never seen, like, when I found out it was AP getting into the ring, it was just like, yo, I know he's strong as heck. Like, he's like a machine. Like, think Debo's strength, that's AP. Like, he's like that. But I've never seen him do anything outside of running the ball. You ever seen him try to run a route and catch a pass? Like, it don't look smooth.
No, he doesn't have the smoothness like
when I think of
Bell.
El Bell is a smooth guy. Yep. So when I think of boxing is a smooth sport. You want to have nice feet, control distance, range. El Bell, that's his wheelhouse. AP, it's more like, I'm going to go through you. So to me, I'm like, I can see it being, hey, El Bell, you got to survive in the first minute to 2 minutes. Because Adrian Peterson fit to come over there in the first 2 minutes, it's going to be insane. But after that, you're good. That's kind of how I look at it. But I also don't know if either one of these guys could take a punch. Because, yes, getting tackled is getting hit, but you have pads on. You have a helmet on. You have a mouthpiece in. You have ear pads to protect your jaw. It's different when you're getting punched in your face now. Not everybody that took a shot. And everybody can keep it awake. Some people go sleep a little bit, man.
Apparently, Bell's been working on this, though, on the side these last couple of years.
Yeah, well,
there's been no word about Peterson, though.
Right, and like I said, even dating back to when we were here in Pittsburgh together, he always trained. Like, that was his thing.
Okay.
Like, that, he does the boxing stuff. None of us have ever seen him actually have to fight somebody. Because it's a difference between train. Like, I train all the time. I don't fight all the time, though. So for me, training, I can feel a certain level of comfort. But if you're talking about, hey, Mose, go get in a ring and do it on a professional level, it's like, whoa, let me get a couple warm-ups first. You know what I mean? And with El Bell, this is his warm-up. It just happens to be at Crypto.com Stadium. Or arena, or whatever they're calling it out there. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, so it's a lot of eyes going to be on that thing, man. Yeah.
I'm just throwing this out there. This is just me, like, spitballing, thinking out loud. Do you think him doing this is a little bit more about him trying to now create his own narrative, take control of it? Because these last, 3-4 years on the football field, he hasn't really been able to do that. He's been at the mercy of teams, of whether or not they're going to play him or not. Yeah. And that's probably, I think, also why he's like, man, I wish I had a time machine going back to 2018. Because at least if I would have stuck around with the Steelers,
I was in control.
Like, dude, I was in control. Like, my legacy would have been so much better than what it is right now.
Yeah. I mean, he was on a Hall of Fame trajectory. Like, he was in that type of conversation. And then when he
who knows? Maybe he could have carried us through that Duck and Mason season.
Seriously, yeah.
And we would have been like, wow, I can't believe we made the playoffs. Le'Veon Bell, MVP or something. We would have been talking about him in that type of conversation.
And I also think, man, who knows how it plays out with AB if he's there? Because remember, he set out the 18 season, and that's when the AB thing started happening at the end of the year. And we know how everything played out after that. So I always wondered, hey, man, when I was there and everybody was there together, granted, we all had stuff that we was dealing with, but that was the constant. You split that up, then it looked a little different. Then the whole band broke up, man.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Yeah. I read one comment that said, if you're in your time machine, make sure you pick up Martavis and AB on the way.
Come on, bro. Seriously, man. Like, man, that was a time, bro. Like, what a time to be alive. Like, yeah.
Yeah, it's just a bummer. I think you said it perfectly at the beginning. Pros and cons on each side. Le'Veon Bell got the money that he wanted, but he also sat out a season in the NFL in his prime, then ended up going to the Jets, who are Really dysfunctional franchise.
And they were even worse off then than where they are now.
Yeah, way worse off.
Yeah, that's a whole new GM and head coach then passed through since then, man.
So if for Bell, if he sticks around with the Steelers, maybe he still has a career.
Yeah.
And like we view Bell as one of the Steelers all-time greats right now.
Or even we're maybe looking at him like how Dallas looks at Zeke right now.
Sure.
Like, he's still a good player. Maybe he's not.
He's still
top five,
especially with Bell, he's still got the pass catching at least. He could be valuable.
And the pass protection. So it was like, man, he brought certain things, but
yeah, maybe he could have helped. He could have helped with Ben's longevity, even though our offensive line was shitty. Last ditch effort would have been on Bell protecting us.
Yeah, but it's one of them things, man. Like you said, you can't go back. But I also did like this part though. He was really clear about this because this is something that I feel like happens, even though it shouldn't. Like he has to keep saying, "Hey, man, I'm not doing this for clout. I'm not doing this for money." Because I feel like with social media now, like that's the way that fans try to get to play. Oh man, it's because you broke. Oh, you doing it because you need attention. You need money. It's like, bro, you realize how much money this man has acquired? Not tripping on money, man. But
unless he's got a ton of chicks stealing his watches and stuff. But that was only one incident.
Right. So I'm just like, man, and that might have been around. That was what, 19, 18, 19. It ain't too far off because he went through it was what, 18, 19, 20, where it was like, oh, L. Bill, you are wildin'. I don't know what chicks you keep talking to, but you better get away, man. All right. But when I think of that, though, it's just like, man, it had me L. Bill, that boy was wild. But yeah, just as a whole, though, it was like, man, it was good to see that, man. He's just trying to let people know, like, yo, I'm doing this because I feel like I can do this. I want to prove to myself that I can do this. I want to prove that I'm not done. Because, that's the conversation. Oh, if you're not good at football anymore, you're washed at life. That's just how people view athletes, man. If you can't play your sport anymore, you don't matter. And when you also read about how he talked about how, man, at times I felt like I was on top of the world, but then other times I felt like I was by myself. I felt like I was betrayed and all this other stuff. Didn't that sound like how what Vince was talking about a little bit? I've talked about that before. A lot of TG, everybody talk about, man, when you leave, bro, it's like it gets cold at times, man. So I do like the fact that for L. Bill, at least he has a direction. You know what I mean? Because like some dudes, they get done. It's like, yo, I'm getting this negative. I'm getting the hate. I'm getting all this. And it's like, where do I go next? At least he has a direction. So we shall see.
Yeah, for him with this boxing career, if he could get that Jake Paul fight at some point,
that would be huge, man.
That would legitimize it.
Yeah.
And maybe not in the ranks of like being one of the best professional boxers right now, but it's like, okay, yeah, this is on a good trajectory.
Right, because I'm thinking to myself, man, who has started late, like this age?
Deontay
Wilder is the only one I can think of, but he was still in his 20s.
Yeah, I have no clue.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would know more than me. I have no idea.
And I think of Greg Hardy. Greg Hardy, he came out, but Greg was still in his 20s.
Yeah.
Greg was, 25, 26 when he went to UFC. Did that for a couple of years. He had some success early on until he started fighting real competition. And that's the whole thing where everybody's like with Jake Paul or even with L. Bell eventually. It's like, yo, it's cool when you're doing celebrity fights. It's cool when you're doing, crossover. This guy isn't a professional boxer. This guy's a professional MMA fighter. But when you start fighting like the guys that have really been doing this, man, it went from Greg Hardy winning into him getting beat by dudes that were just like, yo, that guy, he barely is a UFC fighter. He knocked you out in the first round. Like, he choked you out that quick. Like, so that's the other part with it. And that's with L. Bell. I'm just like, yo, you're 30, bro. How long, when you going to make this run for anything? You know what I mean? Whether you talking about a belt or career, like, what's that looking like, man? So.
Yeah, fair. Yeah. And then, I don't think I have anything else on it. But maybe from the Steelers standpoint then, too, whenever you talk about it being a win-loss, you didn't pay Bell that money. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I think you missed his security. We'll just put it to you that way. Because Connor still put up Bell-esque numbers.
It just felt different, though.
Connor also fumbled.
It felt way different, bro.
In the worst possible scenarios in 2 of those games that season. That probably cost. I know Boz was missing field goals left and right, too. But if we have Bell, maybe we get one of those and then make the playoffs. Yeah. That was we beat the Patriots that year. The Patriots ended up winning the Super Bowl. Like, that was still a really good team. Mm-hmm. So that's how the Steelers lost. But like I said, maybe having Bell on a contract where you're paying him $15, $16 million a year. We saw how the running back market flipped a little bit. Right. Maybe that was wise, but still.
Like, man, L. Bell would have aged better.
Sure.
He would have aged better.
I think you're right.
Yeah. But that's the part of when you talk about contract negotiations in business, and that's what we say, like, it's never just one side because it's an agreement between both. Yeah, L. Bell wanted more money, but there was nothing to say that Steelers couldn't have given him more money. yeah, the Steelers didn't want to pay him more, but there was nothing that said L. Bill could have said, I'll take less. So that's why I look at it and say literally both sides. I'm like, y'all both got some good and y'all both got some bad in this thing. I just don't, I'm not a fan of like when we try to like, oh man, it was this side or it's just that side. It's like, nah, man, both of y'all could have done better here. Both of y'all could have got that deal done, man.
Let's get that time machine.
Yeah.
I think that's it though for the Bell, right?
It is, man. But dude, man, shout out to my dog.
Obviously,
Bell,
we're
man.
watching the Bell Peterson fight.
So I'm trying to figure out how this is gonna work though. So on the 29th, you're at Ambition the Kid, and then are you flying to LA on the 30th morning? How you doing that?
I'm not doing that.
Oh.
I'll watch it from my house,
Okay,
I guess.
Okay. Oh, fair enough then.
Unless you're telling me there's gonna be some streaming site that's gonna have it. Unless I'm going over, if I'm going over someone's house, I'm sure someone will have it. You pitch in, throw up on the TV. But if I don't do any of that and I'm just by myself, I'd rather just pull it up on some site.
For sure. I'm definitely gonna be watching. I'm tuning in.
Maybe I'll pay. Should I pay? Support Bell?
This L Bell. I'm gonna watch my
Give
dog.
him some support.
I'm watching my dog.
You pay?
Yeah. I ain't say that just yet, but I'm gonna watch my dog. I just
support your former teammate.
I'm supporting my watching. I might even put an IG. I'll put a little story up. That's me supporting him. That's like, hey guys, look,
I'm watching.
We're
Reminder.
Tune in. I'm gonna do that. Yeah, but
someone else might pay for it.
Correct.
Or
an establishment. It doesn't have to be pirated. Maybe I'll be in an establishment, a local watering hole.
Yeah.
I have discovered that since I was abroad, I know I always loved champagne, but I've also been on my rum kick. I've been drinking a lot of rum lately. So, as long as the local watering hole has some rum around there, man, I'll be all right, man. It'll be good. Be turned up, watch my man L. Bell hopefully win. If L. Bell gets knocked out, I might cry.
Yeah, that'd be a bummer.
Yeah. Make a great reaction video, though. I'll tell you that. Hey, yo, people go tune in too. You think of the Steelers fans that like either loved L. Bell or they like can't stand L. Bell because like how the whole contract being turned out. We gonna tune in. We want to see you get knocked out. Come on, man. You know that. And the same with Adrian Peterson. They go, AD? Psh, all day, man. Nah, I still got beef him from when he spanked his kids. We gotta get after that. You know what I mean? Or man, he threw the we gotta get him for this.
Whoever loses is gonna deserve it somehow.
That's what I'm saying. Somebody's gonna have a reason why they should have got beat, bro. Somebody.